Great day, everybody. I'm Sherry McIntosh, and this is a King and Two Queens podcast, where hosts David Carruthers, Karen Penn, and myself talk about how to power up relationships. So let's get into it.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to a King and Two Queens podcast. I'm your co-host, David Carruthers. I got the queens with me, Karen and Sherry. Say hey, queens.
Hey, what's happening?
All right, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing real
great.
All right. I'm excited about this podcast. So this is a King and Two Queens where we power up relationships with relevant solutions. Okay, so today's podcast, we are talking about feeling unsupported, and there are reasons why we're doing this. So one, we want to define and we want to talk about why people feel unsupported. Two, we want to keep the fire burning, and we want to take action before it's too late. You know, I think that there are too many divorces, too many single parent homes, and a lot of times these things can be prevented. So again, the reason for this, you know, it just takes a little bit of beautiful humility and honesty, and that will take us blossom. We will blossom in our relationships if we do that. So, feeling unsupported. So we're gonna do a little something different. I wanna jump right into a clip. Because I think that this clip, as funny as it is, it's gonna show how people are feeling unsupported.
Front desk?
Yeah, hi. I'm calling from room 313.
Calling from where?
Room 313.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Room 313.
Sorry, I can't understand you. I don't speak Spanish.
I'm not speaking Spanish.
Where are you from, sir?
I'm from the U.S.
You said Guatemala?
No, the United States.
Honduras?
That literally sounds nothing like what I just said.
Sir, if you can speak English, it would make my life a lot easier.
I am speaking English.
Could you speak English better?
Yeah, I feel like I'm speaking it just fine, like just an accent.
Oh, that's better. I hear you now.
But I didn't change anything.
Thanks for staying with us in our hotel tonight, sir. What brings you to America?
I'm from America.
What brings you to this part of America?
I have to go to my wife's cousin's daughter's sister's wedding.
Sounds confusing, sir.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Is your culture always this confusing?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
Calm down, sir. I'm just doing my job.
Your job is to be racist?
Yes.
What?
I said best, as in best hotel in America. That's where you're staying.
For some reason, I don't believe you.
Where do you say you're from again?
The United States, bro. You know, like the country we're in right now?
But you're Hispanic.
Yes.
I assume you're calling us to find out where the soccer channel is?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
So I'm to believe that a middle-aged Hispanic male does not want to watch soccer?
Listen, bro, just because I'm Latino and I'm a man does not mean that I want to watch the game.
Okay, fair enough.
That was
world.
That was so.
What in the world? What in the world?
Hilarious, right? I can watch the whole clip. I mean, he has thousands of those, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. Obviously, Diego was feeling unsupported, but here's why I picked that clip, because here is the mastery of the media. The fact of the matter is that clip, that other man was being very unsupportive, very rude, very disrespectful, and racist, but it was hilarious. And when things are funny, we don't think. So their goal is just to make us laugh.
Right.
But their bigger goal is to desensitize you to what's really going on. Because the fact of the matter is that conversation, I've had conversations like that in relationships, in marriage, where it's like, what is going on? And honestly, the person really knew what they was doing. I didn't know.
Okay.
But I think they knew what they were doing, but I didn't know what they were doing.
Okay.
And we weren't even on the same wavelength. They weren't even on the same wavelength. So so can you give a quick example of something, how that has happened in your marriage? How you would just make an argument or a situation where you were just not on the same wavelength, and you either felt it was being done intentionally, or you just it was just a man-woman thing where it was like,
It's definitely, for me, a man-woman thing. We do that a lot. We've learned to curtail it more so it doesn't go into an argument. But just simple things. Let me see. Yeah. Did you buy bacon? Yeah, I bought some bacon, but I thought you weren't going to buy bacon. Well, I bought bacon. Well, if I had known you were going to get bacon, I wouldn't have got. But well, it was okay that you got the bacon. I know it was okay, but I just was letting you know that I bought the bacon. It was like, what are you talking about? I bought bacon, you bought bacon. Okay, end of story, period. Not, I wouldn't have bought it if I thought you had bought it. Well, you should have told me you bought it. Stop.
Right, right.
So we can go into, why are you saying so much? You just bought bacon. Why are we still talking about bacon? And like we could get into it and it's like, okay, oh, you got bacon? Oh, great. Okay. I got some too. We'll just have to figure out what to do. We have 2 bacons now.
Mm,
Miles.
right.
Both of them.
Use them both, but we don't need to talk and have a long conversation about why someone else.
But here's the thing. It really wasn't about the bacon.
Mm,
hmm
right?
Maybe it was a situation that was unresolved, and he or she was waiting to get back at you to say, why'd you buy the bacon? It's like, whoa, I bought bacon.
Yes, it could have
You know what I'm
gone.
saying?
It could have gone into, you're always not asking me what I bought first. I go to the store, or you're always going to the store buying stuff you don't know what we already have. Why do you always do that? Like, it could go there. Someone's mad because they never check in. They're just la 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 in the store and they don't know what's at home. Like, it
Right.
could go, unnecessarily deep, if you will.
Sherry, you got an example or situation?
Yeah, it's usually about my calendar. And I'm always thinking that I let my husband know, what's going on for the day. And there have been cases where something at the last minute came up and I put it on my calendar, but I didn't tell him about it. So then when I tell him, I'm thinking I did. And he's like, well, no, you didn't. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And he said, Sherry, we always do this. It's like you think that you remember that you told me something, and this is the first time I'm hearing.
Okay, that's a nice example. Give me something a little bit more juicier. So here's what I mean by that. I'm talking about a situation where you're like, I'm going to intentionally tick them off.
Yeah.
I haven't.
No. Sherry's like, no, it doesn't happen. It never happens.
No, I don't intentionally set out to make him mad. I mean,
No.
He may get mad because I forgot to do something that he may have told me like 4 different times, but sometimes I say.
Okay, so here's why I'm saying that, right? So as funny as that clip was, that man was intentionally being a jerk.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And he was being intentional about it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is that we do that in our relationships. And a lot of time it stems from a situation that isn't resolved.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, sort of. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Or
I could say something to my husband I could say something to my kids. I'll say, watch this. In joking. My husband's serious. He has to flip over to silly mode. So when you're serious all the time, you take things face value, what someone's saying. So when you know that about somebody, you say, okay, watch this.
Yeah, that's different because it's done in jest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm talking about.
That's just mean, David. That's a mean.
I know it's just mean. I know it is, but this is what we want to get into, though. You know what I mean? We're talking about feeling unsupported. Okay, so question: why do you think people feel unsupported in their relationship or marriage?
Well, I believe that people feel unsupported when they're they don't feel like they have any help. Mentally or emotionally, you bring something and it's minimized or ignored. So you feel like you have no support if you bring something to your partner and they don't take it serious. That's not supporting you, like where you care about their concerns. You're too busy. Or you say, you always talk about that. Well, maybe they need to go there again and again and again until it's a resolve, it's a healing,
Mhm.
So.
I guess I would say mine would be similar. I'll give you an example. We're going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, and because of, the pandemic and everything that's going on and the latest strain of the virus, there are concerns that, things may get shut down again, which I don't believe they should, but everybody has to get a rapid COVID test. And my frustration is, why is it that people that don't want to take, they don't want to take the vaccine, but yet they want to travel, they don't know whether they're a carrier or not. So that's putting people who are vaccinated at risk. And that frustrates me because it's been over a year since we've gone anywhere.
So that's
being out of state.
Non-support in your relationship, or a relationship with just people in general?
No, I am going somewhere.
Okay.
I would say to my husband, here's my problem, and he'll stop me and he's like, listen, I know what you're getting ready to say. You've said it before. I get where you're coming from, but we need to deal with this.
So he's bringing you back to reality.
Yeah, he tends to do that. That's that left brain, right brain thing.
Yeah. So that's actually, he's supporting you. He's bringing you back to reality. He knows you're going to say, that's not fair. Nobody should do this, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, listen, this is the truth of the matter. We got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. Some would see that as the opposite, because some don't ever want to be corrected. Some don't ever want to be. Some people just don't want to alter. They always want their feelings, satisfied, and that's not reality.
But you always want to be right. Yeah, I've heard of that too. You always want to be right. Nobody can correct you, but you feel your point of view is valid enough to take a stand on, whether people agree or not. Some people would take that as, you just don't want to hear nobody tell you nothing.
Right, and that's right, and that's not supporting. That's actually supporting the higher level, but that's another podcast.
Okay, the higher level. Okay.
Because the reason why I say the higher level is because we don't want to be like, I read this proverb that says, whoever hates to be corrected is stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know why it says that? It says that because if you can't be corrected, then that means you can't grow. So now if you feel that I'm not supporting you because I'm challenging you to be better, you have an incorrect perspective, and I am supporting you. Because what I'm not going to support is mediocrity when I know that there's greatness in you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, that's if the person, I don't know, when you're dealing with adults, it's different than with children. You see the mediocrity in a child, you're there to groom them, help them to grow. When you're talking to an adult, you can't make somebody grow when they don't want to. You can be an example, but they don't really want to hear you correcting them all the time with everything they say and do. You're just the rod of correction for them. No room for God to correct them, if you will, because someone feels, or your mate feels, they're there just for that purpose. You're like, huh? Well,
okay, well, that's, yeah, you know what? That gives us a great segue into our next segment. So we're going to go into
the time tunnel. And I will swallow my pride. You're the one that I love, and I'm saying goodbye. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you.
Okay, so that was Say Something, I'm Giving Up on You. The words were, and I'll swallow my pride. You're the one that I love, and I'm saying goodbye. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Beautiful song, beautiful, beautiful song. Probably one of the most saddest songs I've ever heard in my life. And it's terrible that someone has to make you write such a song.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because and he said so much in that. So, you know, I met this woman and I said to her, I said, why are you and your husband breaking up? She said, I outgrew him.
Wow.
Say something. I'm giving up on. Who wants to be with someone who isn't growing? At some point, and then here's what ticks me off about people. You know who you are. Everyone loves greatness. Everyone loves greatness, but nobody wants to work for it. Everybody wants money, but nobody wants to work for it. But you love being around it. And then you really think that if you get the chance to marry it, that person isn't going to challenge you to be better? You're weighing them down. You're weighing them down. If I stayed with the people that I was with, my dreams would not have been fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. That's a deep statement.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a very deep statement. And I hear what you're saying. And for all intents and purposes, it's true. But if you really love somebody, then I guess my thought is you would have to come to a common ground and say, okay, how can I help you reach your potential? How can I help you to move to the next level? How can I help you to fulfill your destiny?
Yeah, and to me, that's what real relationships and marriages are about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we say in our vows. But, you know, I promise to love you, for richer, for better, for worse, yada, yada, yada. We say that, but when it comes time to doing it, we don't do it.
Yeah.
You, at the end of the day, either you are the wind beneath my wings or you're clipping them.
Wow.
And if you're clipping them, you gotta go.
Gotta go?
You gotta go. Or the second point of this podcast is take action before it's too late. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Say something. You know what I'm saying? It's like there is I said on you guys' podcast, was it last year or so? I said, there's a door of opportunity. That door is now at a window. That window is now at a crack.
Yeah.
People aren't going to sweat you in COVID. We're all in too much pain. Sweetie, what do you want to do? Are we doing something or not? Because you're in pain, I'm in pain, you're broke, I'm broke. Are we gonna work this thing or not? Say something. I'm giving up on you. A lot of brothers are like, when I see a woman now, this is what I think. I'm like, oh, she's really, really nice. She probably gonna get on my nerves.
Wow.
You know why though? You know why? Because you got relationships that ended in 2005, and then 15 years later, there's a sexual case. So a lot of men are just scared to death. They're like, are you gonna go there? You know what I mean? Like when you see so much divorce and breakup, and I've seen a lot, and most of the ones that I've seen are in the church, it messes with your hope. And then this COVID ain't helping. So my thing is like, yo, are we gonna do this thing for real or not? What are we doing? Like I had to basically tell this one girl, I'm like, yo, you build up my hope and then you tear it down.
What was her response?
She didn't have nothing to say. She didn't have, that's what I'm saying. She didn't have nothing to say. Say something, because I'm giving up on you. And you know what? And I have. And here's the sad reality, right? The sad reality is that her and I would be a good couple, but she's lazy. She's lazy. Lazy people cannot get along with people who are diligent. It's not gonna work. I am obsessed with the next level, which means that if tonight I get inspiration to write at 2:00 in the morning, I'm gonna write, because I've done it 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Most people aren't gonna do that. Most people are gonna keep sleeping.
Yeah, David, you're speaking from a single person, a single man's point of view during a time that's never been in history before. We have all these variables, now, which is very difficult, to connect with people. However, I always say there's nothing new under the sun. Mm-hmm. And I say that because through marriage, if you get married, you're going to have times where you're going to be, you say you're obsessed with growth. There's going to be downtime, and there's also going to be growth sporadically. She may not be growing the same time as you. There might be a downtime for her. So to be patient with her is to your advantage for both of you to wait and see. And it's same thing, vice versa for you. You might be in a lull, although your ambition is to, be obsessed with growth. Nobody can stay on that mountain all the time. And actually you learn some things when you're not up there with the obsession of you're being lazy. Snap out of it, we gotta grow. We gotta grow, or else. Like,
no, I think you're
kind of like pressure. Like I gotta wake up in the morning and say,
No. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Exaggerating. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But there's gotta be some longevity there. Willingness, not kick. You got to get out because you're not on the level right now. I'm not about mediocrity. Not 1 second.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What it
feels like as
no. Okay. That's fine. And I see you guys. Both of you guys are like, oh my God, this is not the podcast I was thinking it would be.
I want to say, my husband and we would have thrown each other out a long time ago with the lulls that we went through.
I'm not. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. First of all, here's what I'm saying. Right. I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily match my intensity, but what I am saying, because my intensity is I'm intense, and I get that. Okay. But what I'm saying is that when I look at people's results, it's because they're lazy. And people aren't being honest with themselves. So the young lady that I was just telling you about, prior to COVID and just prior to all this media, my friend said something. He said it wasn't always this bad and it wasn't always this crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking prior COVID. It feels like good relationships and marriage are mission impossible. So my thing is like, can we cut the crap? this is, so here's what I am saying. This is not the time to be lax because we're in a pandemic. This is not we got more singles today than ever before in history. And what are you doing? No, you can't be like that. You can't be like that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily saying match my intensity, but what I am saying is that the people that I've dealt with, they're not being real.
Right. I could see you saying that.
And then I've met people. I've had 3 women who don't know me ask me for money, and I'm like, why am I giving you money? I don't know you. Like, what is that? That's low character. That's what I'm saying. That's lazy. And so what I'm saying is that there was this hope, like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. She looks like she's a really nice woman. And then I give her my number, I text her, you text me, and you're asking me for money. How dare you get so personal and you don't even know me? And then now I'm really insulted because what do you think? I'm some simp, some sucker? Like what is that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's laziness.
I think the pandemic and all that we've gone through has people not in their right state of mind, if you will, in order for people to come try to connect with somebody on such a low level. But like you, David, I believe there are some women who are trying to connect on the level that you're trying to connect. So there is hope because there's a gigantic world out there. You're just not meeting them. You got to go through in sales, they tell you have to have like 10 no's before you get 1 yes. You got to go through the numbers. Keep on.
Way more than that. Yeah, I feel you.
Keep going. No, she's coming. The yes is coming. So
but in and the yeses are coming, and I get that. But what I'm saying is, on a big level, a lot of brothers just giving up.
Sure, and women too. I shared before, women are okay with dating themselves all the time. You just order out and have the food come in. We got delivery now. It's contactless. You don't have to talk to nobody. Get your food in the house, have your wine, whatever, music, movies, go to bed.
Right. So this is what I'm saying, right? And if you settle for that, that's no intensity. You see what I'm saying?
People are looking for easiness.
There is none.
That it's less complicated, no pressure. People even, what did we have recently, the holidays, people taking pictures in their pajamas. Like, how much more comfortable are you looking to be? You can't take a photo. You can take a family picture. Everybody got pajamas on. I've never heard of any such thing in my life. Like, we're looking for comfortability. People are just want to be comfortable.
Yeah, well, and so here's what here's my basic point at the end of the day, right? This pandemic is going to bring out what's in you, and you decide what's in you, whether it's laziness or diligence. And if you don't speak like that, use words like laziness, then you're going to lose out. You're going to.
Well, we're looking at how to support one another.
Right, which brings me to my next question. Okay, so how can we keep the fire burning? Maybe I shouldn't even say the fire burning because we got to start the fire.
You need some fire first, huh?
Yeah. How can we start and keep the fire burning in our relationships and in our marriages, especially at a time like this?
First of all, you can't allow yourself to become complacent. You can develop a routine and stick to it a million times over, but you have to have creativity. Let's say, for example, you have an anniversary coming up. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to go out to dinner? Do you want to go to your favorite restaurant? Do you want to go away? It depends, because one of the things you don't want to do is just say, oh, here's a cat, happy anniversary, and just let it go. It's important. If it's important to you, then it needs to be important to your significant other or your spouse. Now, if you get to that two-year mark that we talked about in another podcast, then it's time to make a move. Okay. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I talked to a friend of mine, and she has been with her man for about 7-8 years, and she's breaking it off because it's not going anywhere, and he hasn't made that move to marry her. You see what I'm saying? And she's a gem. She's a good woman. This is what I'm saying. Like, you don't seize the moment. Mm-hmm. Seize the moment. Like not stop thinking that it's always gonna be there for you. Stop thinking, especially if you didn't lock it down. Mm-hmm. Because that's subliminally disrespectful.
Mm. It's more than subliminal.
And that's what you do.
So true. Well, helping the fire to get started, keep burning, you need to have non-threatening conversations. You'll get a whole lot more out of the conversation if it's non-threatening. That's a gift to be able to do. Don't just bring your point of view and yes or no. That's it. You got to have non-threatening conversation because you know things about people. You know how to pull people's strings. Don't go there and say afterwards, I knew you were going to say that. Like, that's not a non-threatening conversation. You will get more out of a person when you know what their response is, when you begin to say, well, talk to me, tell me. It's okay for you to tell me the real reason. And I've experienced that myself. So you will learn some things from the person and get past a certain place if it's a non-threatening conversation. The other thing is learn your love language. Learn the love language of your mate. Mm-hmm. And take turns demonstrating their love language to them, and having yours demonstrated to you. The 5 love languages are acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. And often we have a combination of a couple of them that exceed all the others. So it's not just one thing you desire only for someone, your mate, to say words of affirmation to you. That might be combined with receiving gifts. Now you're on a roll. You're getting some fire going there. Right. Oftentimes, however, we show our mate what we want to receive, and that's not their love language. And they're like, ooh, I wish you'd stop doing that. I wish you'd stop touching me. I don't like that as much as you. I need you to buy me something, So you need to learn. You got to discover. You got to seek out, to really learn somebody so you can get the fire started or keep it burning and let it rekindle, So it's work. It's work.
Right. What can we do in our relationships to make the other person feel loved?
Well, I look back at the love languages, and number one, you've got to know your partner or your spouse's love language. My husband's love language is acts of service, and just because of the type of person I am, I don't have a problem giving acts of service. Sometimes I go overboard. And he'll say, okay, you know what? I can do this. You don't have to do it for me. It's all right. But he does appreciate me, servicing him out of love. And you also have to know your own love language. My love language is touch, and I know it's also hard for people who are not used to touching you in an affirming way. to do that. But we had to kind of balance it out. So I think that's very important. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, one more thing. As a woman, you have to know that being submissive does not mean being a doormat. You don't have to lay down for everything. Just simply, be who you are. Have your voice. Make sure that you support your spouse or your partner's, everything, pretty much. Their passion, even if it's something you're not interested in, still support it, because that goes a long way.
Respect. You can't just you got to give regard to the other person's feelings, desires, their goals, their truths. Someone will share, and even their past. You got to give respect to it. If you can't do that, we can't go any further. I don't want to be intimate with you because you don't really care about me.
Right.
If you show by respecting those things, then I could be open. Any woman could be open because you're hearing her plight, your understanding of it. You desire to just listen and not correct her, even if you think she's wrong. But you're able to, she's letting you see inside of her by what she's expressing. Don't get a big boot and step on it or kick it or say, that's crazy. You might think that, but don't tell her that. You're showing disrespect. So she can be open to more of what you have to give her, and even correction if you respect her first and what's going on inside of her.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Let me end with this. There's a beautiful book called Liberated Through Submission by Bunny Wilson. Powerful book, powerful woman. Educate your ignorance, educate and educate your challenges. I think there are too many people that make assumptions about submission and about headship and all this other stuff. And they don't educate themselves. They don't read a book on the matter. You want to flood your mind with different thoughts, with new thoughts, with people who have some expertise, so that you can get some help. Because again, what we currently got going on isn't working. It isn't working. So if we want to feel supported in our relationships and in our marriages, and if we want to build long-lasting relationships, families, and marriages, let's exercise some humility. Let's have some honor, some respect for one another. Let's listen more, so that we can thrive. And then let's get passionate. Let's get diligent, because what this pandemic is producing is laziness. And so what I'm saying is that we have a responsibility to fight against the powers that be that are creating this lax and this apathy towards one another. Let's get out of that. So I want to thank the Queens, Karen Penn and Sherry McIntosh, for co-hosting this with me. I want to thank you for watching. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you've always imagined. Peace until next time.
Peace.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'll be the one if you want me to.